Have you ever trusted someone so completely that you'd bet your life on their loyalty? I did. My name is Emma, and on what should have been the happiest night of my life, my wedding night, I discovered my husband in bed with my sister. But here's what they didn't expect. I didn't break. I became unstoppable. This is my story of betrayal, revenge, and the most powerful comeback of my life. Stay with me, because what happened next will shock you. 6 years ago, I married Michael Thompson at a beautiful vineyard in Napa Valley. Everything was perfect. The sunset, the flowers, my sister Rachel as my maid of honor. We'd planned an intimate wedding with 50 people, all staying at the estate for the weekend. Michael looked at me like I was his entire world. I thought I'd found my soulmate. I thought my life was complete. Little did I know, my perfect wedding was hiding the darkest betrayal imaginable. Rachel was more than my maid of honor. She was my baby sister, my best friend, the person I'd protected and loved her entire life. She'd helped me choose my dress, plan every detail, and stood by my side throughout everything. We had a 5-year age gap, but we were inseparable. I trusted her with every secret, every fear, every dream. She was family. She was supposed to be loyal. But trust, I learned, means nothing to some people. After the reception, we went to our honeymoon suite, a beautiful cottage with a fireplace and rose petals everywhere. I was nervous but excited for our first night as husband and wife. But Michael just sat on the bed and said, "I'm exhausted. Can we just sleep tonight?" I stood there in my wedding dress, completely shocked. This was our wedding night. He wouldn't even look at me. He just rolled over and went to sleep. I lay there for an hour, confused and hurt, wondering what I'd done wrong. Then I heard the door open. Michael was leaving. At 1 a.m, I watched my husband sneak out. Something in my gut told me to follow him. I put on my robe and stepped into the cold night air. I followed him down the stone path toward the guest rooms, staying in the shadows. My heart was pounding. Where was he going? And then I saw him stop at one of the rooms and knock softly. The door opened immediately, like someone had been waiting, and there she was, Rachel, my sister, in a silk nightgown, smiling at him in a way that made my blood freeze. He stepped inside and the door closed. I stood outside that door, shaking, unable to breathe. Part of me wanted to run, but I needed to see it with my own eyes. I pushed the door open, and there they were, tangled together on the bed. For a moment, nobody moved. Then Michael scrambled to pull on his pants. Rachel grabbed a blanket, and I just stood there, my entire world crumbling. "How long?" I asked. They didn't answer. "How long?" I screamed. Rachel started crying, and then she whispered, 6 months. 6 months. While I was planning our wedding, choosing flowers, dreaming about our future, they'd been betraying me.
6 months. The words echoed in my head. Every time I'd called Rachel to share wedding updates, she'd been sleeping with my fiancé. Every dress fitting, every planning session, they'd been laughing at me behind my back. Michael tried to say it just happened, that he was confused. I looked at him, this man who'd promised to cherish me just hours ago, and I didn't recognize him. "Get out," I said, my voice deadly calm. "Get out of this room. Get out of my life." He left without a word. Then I turned to Rachel, my baby sister. "You're dead to me," I said. "From this moment on, you don't exist." I packed my things and drove away as the sun was rising, still in my wedding dress. I didn't sleep, I didn't cry anymore. I just drove. By noon, I'd contacted a lawyer. Within a week, I'd filed for annulment. Michael tried to reach out, flowers, letters, showing up at my office. I ignored everything. I changed my number, I moved apartments. I deleted them from my life completely. My parents were devastated when they learned the truth. My father didn't speak to Rachel for 2 years. But me? I didn't waste time on revenge. I focused on something better, becoming someone they could never touch again. The first year was brutal. I threw myself into work at my marketing firm, staying late every night, taking on impossible projects. I didn't date, I didn't trust anyone. But slowly, I started healing. I made new friends who didn't know my past. I traveled to Paris, Tokyo, Barcelona, places I'd always dreamed of seeing. I discovered who I was without Michael, without Rachel, without the life I'd planned. And you know what? I liked her. I liked the woman I was becoming. Strong, independent, unbreakable. 3 years after my wedding night disaster, I met David at a business conference in Seattle. He was kind, patient, and honest. He didn't rush me or make empty promises. He just showed up, consistently, proving through actions that not everyone would betray me. I told him everything about my past, and he listened without judgment. With him, I learned to trust again. And here's the best part. I heard through friends that Michael and Rachel tried to make it work after I left. They lasted 8 months before he cheated on her with someone else. She called me crying, begging for forgiveness. I didn't answer. She means nothing to me now. I'm getting married next spring, to David, in a small ceremony with people who've proven their loyalty. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not bitter. What happened that night broke me open, but it also set me free. Free from people who didn't deserve me. Free to build the life I actually wanted. My happy ending isn't about finding a better man. It's about becoming a woman who knows her worth. And that's something no one can ever take from me. So if you're watching this and you've been betrayed, hear me. You will survive. You will heal, and you will find real love, but only after you learn to love yourself enough to walk away from anyone who doesn't respect you. Did my story touch your heart? Which city are you watching from? Let's connect in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please support the channel so I can keep sharing real stories of strength and survival. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, you're stronger than you think.